Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Kavanaugh's Corner. Today in the show I'm going to be talking about a movie that is very 90s, which is why I got my 90s Disney gang shirt on, but this is definitely not a Disney movie, I'll tell you that much. This is a very R-rated movie. But I remember when this movie came out when I was younger. It was right at the kind of the end of the 90s, and I have to say this is a movie that, again, just like the last film I reviewed, is a cult classic, and I stumbled upon it on the Shout Factory sale when, they had very recently, and I saw it and I forgot that this movie had come out on Blu-ray. I never owned this movie on Blu-ray. I don't even think it had a Blu-ray up until this version. If they did, then I missed it. But this is the Scream Factory Collector's Edition of Lake Placid, the big giant crocodile horror comedy with Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, and Oliver Platt. And this movie is, Joe, and by the way, lest we forget, the great Brendan Gleeson is in this as well. He is excellent in this movie. And, of course, the immortal Betty White, God bless her, I love her so much. She is so excellent in this movie. But this is one of these movies where, I remember when it came out back in '99, and this movie just is so wacky. I love it. It's a horror movie. It has some genuine, kind of like scary moments, some gross out moments. It is funny as hell. And it's just a strange thing. Writer David E. Kelly wrote this movie, and to think that he goes from Ally McBeal to this is just, it's quite the, I mean, it's pretty different. Again, this is a very different film. But you got Steve Miner directing it, who did a couple of the Friday the 13th sequels. Halloween H2O especially is another one that he did besides this movie. And again, he's a very good horror director, but this is such a different film. But I like it. I really enjoy it. And when I saw that this was on sale, and it was, the Blu-ray, I had to pick it up. I absolutely had to pick it up. And I watched it recently, and I have to say, this did not disappoint. This is another really great release from Shout Factory, or Scream Factory, their horror division in this case. I really liked it. Again, it's got a nice cover here that actually is reversible. I actually really like this other cover that's inside that's like reminiscent of the original poster that I like, and you can see the big crocodile on the disc there. But really, really nice packaging. Again, I really like these releases from Shout Factory, and I have to say this pretty much lives up to the collector's edition standard that I would say. This movie looks absolutely fantastic on Blu-ray. I really wish it was a 4K, but again, Shout Factory hasn't gotten into 4Ks yet, but they will be very shortly with the Deer Hunter, and I'm very excited for that. But this here, again, is a great release from them, and I have to say, this movie looks beautiful. Now, keep in mind, I had only seen this on cable, at places like HBO, and besides that, I had it on VHS. I had it on VHS, and I think I might have had it on DVD at some point. But the VHS, again, watching this on VHS and watching it on Blu-ray, this Blu-ray especially, two different worlds. This is a great release here. This movie looks spectacular. Colors in this look great. The overall landscape, you really get a really vibrant green and brown out of this this film. The forest looks very, very beautiful and vibrant all throughout. The water is this, again, it looks like a lake that you could go to and on like a fishing trip. It is very lively. It's very kind of I don't want to say it's not clear, it's almost like a muddy green color, and you really do pick that up on this disc. The underwater photography in this also looks really good, and I have to say the picture overall on this is fantastic. I really didn't pick up any flaws with it at all. I think the best part about it is just how clear the picture is with this. And was shot on film, so you do get some grain in the picture. It's a very fine grain, but it's not extremely heavy duty. It's not distracting at all, at least in my opinion. I think it looks really good for a standard 1080 Blu-ray. Now, I did watch this upscaled to 4K, and I have to say, it really does hold up in 4K. Again, it's still very clear, very vibrant, and I really love looking at it. It's a very easy film to look at, of course, except for those gore moments that get a little nasty. But the only thing about this film that I have to say has not aged very well is that with this new high definition transfer here, it really did not do so well with the CGI. The CGI in this has not aged very well. It doesn't look great. Some scenes look better than others. The scene where the crocodile jumps out of the water and grabs the bear, that it kind of, you know, again, if you've never seen this movie before, that's kind of a jump scare moment. But when that croc jumps out and grabs that bear, it is very, very noticeable now that they use some very tricky editing and they replace the live bear with the, you know, CGI one, and you can see the CGI crocodile really, you know, kind of doesn't really look as good as the physical one that they had in this movie. But besides that, I think the movie looks great throughout. I really, really enjoyed it. The audio on this, again, is a DTS HD Master Audio. This is a 5.1 mix. And again, it sounded really solid to me. I had no issues with the surrounds on this. I think the sound effects were placed really well. It is slightly immersive, I have to say. There's no overhead use, obviously, because it's not an Atmos track. But for the surrounds and everything, the sound effects are mixed really well. The dialogue is very clear. The low, you know, tones and stuff are very good. The music sounds great on this. Again, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very, very, very well-made disc here. And the best part is the special features on this are actually really fantastic. There actually is a whole documentary that they did where they have a lot of new interviews with Bill Pullman, with the director, actually some other people, the director of photography. Again, it's actually pretty cool. Some people that worked on the special effects are interviewed in this documentary. And there's a good amount of stuff. They even have an older featurette that was, I think, probably on the older DVD. They have the theatrical trailers, stuff like that. But that making of documentary that's on this, I think it's about 30 minutes long or so. Maybe a little bit longer. It is really, really fascinating because they go into, you know, things that they filmed, some stuff that didn't make it into the movie, and a really funny story about the actual brown bear that was on set during that scene I mentioned a moment ago. Really funny story about that. It's really worth hearing from the guys that made the movie, but it's a great story, and I think it's worth hearing if you buy this disc. I highly recommend this disc. This is a great, great release from Shout Factory. Again, does it have a ton of special features? No, but the ones that are there really do, you know, inform you on how this movie was made, and I love that kind of stuff. That, to me, is worth it. The movie itself and how great it looks on this Blu-ray is the main reason to buy it, honestly. I really, really like this new transfer here. I can't recommend it enough. This is a great release from Shout Factory. The last couple movies I bought from them have all been home runs. I really rarely had a disappointment with them. This is really great, and I really hope they make a few more like this as the years go on, because they have a great track record. But anyway, that's it for today for Kavanaugh's Corner. Again, if you enjoyed this review, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more. And definitely pick up Lake Placid on Blu-ray. This was a good one. Anyway, until next time, I'm Andrew Kavanaugh. Take it easy.